Hey, it's King McKay, and we just got episode 5. It may not have been as grand or as epic as the episode we got before it, but it brought so many new characters together in really unique ways, and we're going to see how they interact from these different storylines. Now, with these different bands of characters joining together, we see them making new plans for the future, and the bigger threat that is becoming more and more real to more and more characters. So what's going to happen to the Omega Squad going up north? What's Cersei going to do about all these new changing plans and dynamic? How will Arya and Sansa resolve their relationship issues with Littlefinger trying to constantly intervene? Let's find out from this preview for episode 6. Like the video!
Death is the enemy. The first enemy and the last.
So right away we clearly see they're filming back in Iceland, which is beautiful. They have amazing landscapes, and I really missed that kind of climate we saw from all the outranging Jon storyline, because he's been in like Dragonstone and we haven't really seen much of it, so it's quite nice to come back here and kind of reflect on where we started this entire series. So the Omega Squad is pretty much just every single kind of cool character we kind of liked across the series, all mushed together and forced to get along on a really important journey in a very hostile climate. All of these characters have at least some reason to hate each other, so definitely their entire journey will be like a metaphor for how so many different parties and people who hate each other across Westeros, from Cersei to Dany to Jon, all these different families, have to come together to fight a common enemy because they are all similar in one way. They're alive. So I have a feeling that the next episode is going to be mainly just focused around this ranging north. We'll get a few scenes in Dragonstone and Winterfell to give us a nice perspective on time and the different breaks from the storyline, so we know how long those characters have been up north and how far they've travelled and so on. And clearly we're going to get lots more of those long, drawn out monologues by Thoros and Dondarrion, and the Hound can't stop them.
The enemy always wins. We still need to fight him.
So it seems that Daenerys really has made a quite significant bond with Jon Snow, with Drogon liking him and getting along, with the kind of bonding they've had in the caves and their experiences and them being kings and their monologues and their talking. She's definitely become way more attached to Jon Snow than what she would like to have had. But she does have a very good reason to be concerned, because that is a lot of undead. I mean, that's a lot of undead. They may be a very intense and strong squad of individuals, but that is just, fuck no, run. But 100% their squad will not survive without outside help and influence, and the only people that can really do that are 3 people. Bran, with his walking abilities, trying to go into some animals and help them survey and fight and kind of hold them off for a bit. We have Cold Hands could return, he's still out there somewhere technically. And we have Dany flying in a dragon and saving them. But it will be pretty hard for them to try and communicate with anyone else apart from maybe Bran that they're in trouble. So it is possible that Bran kind of makes a sib-wide link between like Daenerys or Tyrion or someone like that and Jon, or they draw out this entire adventure up north quite a lot longer than it should be, and they have some help from Eastwatch or Daenerys or something like that because they have enough time to communicate with them. So if that's the case, I definitely expect a few big sacrifices of people like holding off in like a small narrow passageway, or, you know, charging into the fight to give them a few time, kind of like we saw with the Hodor scene where we just had constant sacrifice after sacrifice to try and save the mission as a whole. And boy, they have a lot of expendable characters in their crew to do that with, so prepare for some death.
You're scared, aren't you? What are you scared of?
Now, I thought this dialogue from Arya was quite ironically funny, because we start with the shots of Winterfell where everyone's politically scheming and moving and making like conversations, and they have problems that are all kind of like the first world problems of the Game of Thrones universe. And then you have the Hound and Jon and stuff beyond the wall fighting armies of dead in the freezing cold blizzards. And you're like, well, put it in perspective, you're not really in trouble. But it definitely seems like Littlefinger's still been playing his game and trying to pit Arya and Sansa against each other. Now, if you're wondering, that letter we saw in the previous episode is the one that Sansa wrote to Robb and Catelyn when she was forced as a hostage by Cersei back in season 1. So it's quite incriminating, like her siding with the Lannisters and saying that their father was a traitor and they need to bend a knee and stuff. So it looks really bad, but I don't think it's going to fool Arya for a second. The show is trying way too hard to make it look like Littlefinger is actually successfully manipulating Arya and Sansa, which means it's gonna fail miserably. Oh yeah, you better run. Just run, man. No hope that run. Okay, so next episode's gonna be wicked. We're gonna actually have a fight between the Army of the Dead, White Walkers, and the Squad. We're gonna see Jon facing off against a White Walker that looks very similar to the one he's already killed. But hey, I'm not racist, you know, not all White Walkers look alike. He's probably a unique individual with his own hobbies in life, you know? They can't just lump them all into one big group. You racist? So we're gonna finally have Dondarrion's awesome lightsaber flame sword moment. We're gonna have Gendry back in action with his sweet-ass warhammer, which the Hound picks up at some point and starts using, so maybe Gendry doesn't survive this. Oh no, he rose forever just to work as a blacksmith and then die up north, but hey, you never know, he could be just like on the ground incapacitated and they save him or something like that. And we also see a group of people running through another gate to, like, either they're coming back from the war, so they survive the strip and get through the war again, or they're going back out north again with another party, so I'm not sure. The party riding at full speed towards a rock that seems to be in the middle of some kind of frozen lake. That could be the thing that the Hound saw in the flames. It looks like an arrowhead, but we can't really see from this angle. We have Jon getting his CrossFit in. You know, can't stop your schedule no matter where you go. Beyond the wall, south, can't stop. And of course, the Night King rocking up saying, yo, I want my round 2 for the steering competition. You fucked off last time. We're gonna finish this, Jon Snow. Me and you, steer off, let's go. And boom, the preview ends there. So already we can begin to see where this season's going to end. It definitely looks like from this heist and what's going on, whether they take losses or whatever in this fight, some people will have to survive out of this. Jon Snow probably will be one of them. So we're definitely going to have someone surviving this battle, and they're probably going to end up capturing a wife, but with losses. So it seems like the finale for the season, or episode 6, going to be a reveal of this wife. And the endgame of this season going into season 8 will be the Lords deciding to make a pact together, an armistice to fight the White Walkers. Whether they will truly hold to this or not will be discovered and explored more in season 8, but this will definitely put a hold on a lot of the conflict we saw in this season, or at least it'll be a hold to the public fighting they have. But from this episode and preview, the thing we want to see clearly the most in the endgame of this season is one of those maces from around that fucking table, watching the White walk up all undead like him, like, oh shit, that guy had a point. They're real. I want to see that. Thanks for watching. I really hope you guys can support me by hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel so I can put out so many more videos for you guys. This has been an amazing season so far. Can't wait for the next 2 episodes. But I'm also kind of sad that we won't get any more Game of Thrones for a while after that. So definitely make sure that you guys go to audibletrial.com/king and get a free audiobook of your choice, because if you want to read more into the Game of Thrones universe so you're prepared for season 8 so that you know what's going to be happening at the end game of this, then make sure to check out the audiobooks. When I wanted to go through the whole series again, I did it through Audible and it was great. The narrator's pretty awesome, it's got some amazing content in there, and it's a really easy, quick, fun way that you can explore the entire series and everything that George R. R. Martin created to make Game of Thrones such a stable and amazing universe. So that's audibletrial.com/king. Your support means everything.